Welcome to Destination Divergence, episode 69. This is the Might, Metal, and Magic group. This is going to be a bit of a strange episode this week. Not everybody could make it, but a lot of the characters were intending to take downtime anyways, so we're going to finish up a couple things and then move on to resolving downtime for a week, and then we'll cut it short there unless anything drastic comes up in the meantime. So,
big stuff incoming.
Indeed. There we go. So let's pop open the Reckon Mark map here. Now, Milos, I believe, had departed to check out the Winterside district. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You were going
I was alone because Drost was just going to hammer.
Right, okay. At some point, the music will kick in. There we go. So, Milos, you are headed to Winterside. You pass through what is clearly the remains of an old wall. A large stone wall that has been worn down by time, and much of it has been just deconstructed and torn down to make way for more buildings and roads through the area, but you can still see the foundation of it and the remnants of it in the area. And you enter into a district that is clearly much more recently constructed than the others. You don't recognize any of the war-torn nature that I described in Old Reckon, even though you weren't there to see it, just as contrast of description. And this place seems not necessarily of a higher wealth, just much more recently constructed. There's all manner of buildings here. It is mostly residential, though, as you would assume that the market is where most of the financial work goes on, and indeed, a lot of the industry of this place is still stuck in Old Reckon. However, there are some buildings here and there that are newly constructed that contain some of the replacements for old buildings that were just unsalvageable in Old Reckon. And yeah, that is the Winterside. Is there anything specific you'd like to seek out here?
I don't think I'm looking for anything specific. Obviously, shops, although I'd expect that I'd find those more in the market area. Just landmarks. Maybe a good bakery. You never know.
Yeah, there are a few places to eat scattered around here. You pass at least two Golden Dragon Inns along your way here, as well as just more traditional Carnathian eateries scattered about, serving, of course, their lots of meals that are very full of meat and cheese, which are their specialties in the region. Unfortunately, Karnath is almost exclusively imports wheat, and so they don't actually consume a lot of grain here. Unfortunately for them.
Uncultured.
You do find one of the more recent constructions is a small branch of House Cannith, not necessarily a workshop or a place of sale, than just a branch where agents can check in, find work or continue to get supplies and restock on things.
Makes sense.
Sort of
not so unlike the House Orient stops that we've been at.
Yeah, it's more of a resource for House Cannith agents and an administrative building for the area.
Makes sense.
You actually do notice that, despite all of Eberron is covered with magic everywhere you go. The street lamps that are dotting the streets of Winterside are clearly magical in nature and turn on, you expect will turn on later in the night when it becomes dark. Things of that nature, but you do note while walking around that a lot of the construction looks more hand done than the construction you see elsewhere. And that applies to much of life you've seen here. You gather that the Carnathians are they have much more pride in what they can do with their hands physically than what they can do magically.
Makes sense.
All right, any more exploring in Winterside you'd like to get done?
Not in particular. I mean, I guess I should be like on the lookout for an Orion chapter house in case there is one.
All right, yeah, you do look around for an Orion chapter house. Can you give me an investigation check, please?
Of course. Character sheet. Investigation. Wow, I can't investigate these days.
Yeah, you look around for a bit, but you don't find any obvious signs that would point to one. And sort of the one thing that does come to your mind is that if there would be one, it probably would be near the big bridge that broke down. But then again, if there was one there, then there's also one right on the other side, so maybe that's not necessary. Or they hadn't seemed to make it necessary. Unfortunately, Reckonmark is kind of a dead end right now.
Yep.
Alright, so you head to the market then?
Yes.
Alright, you meet up with the others at the market. Drost is still back at the Golden Dragon Inn, working away at his hammer inside the pocket dimension that you brought along with you. So as not to make too much noise. So it'll be Eli, Leroy, and Milos at the market. So while you were here, you could purchase any of the materials you need. I guess technically you could include purchasing materials as part of downtime in the future too, but hey, you're here, so why not explore? The market surrounds the primary lightning rail stop of Reckonmark, which used to cross the bridge, but no longer does. That part of the rail has been decommissioned for now. And so lightning rails come into the station and they leave the same way they came. Nowhere else for them to go. It is, however, the primary method that cargo gets shipped in and out of Reckonmark, so naturally the market and all of the warehouses associated with it are right nearby. So you could probably find whatever you need here, or get it commissioned rather quickly, as it's not a long lightning rail journey to Korth, the capital. Or rather, commissioned, I mean, you could order something from the capital rather easily.
Makes sense.
So, is anyone in the market for anything in particular? I don't believe Eli or Drost left me with any notes on anything I needed. But that chat got cursed so quickly that I don't want to scroll up.
Yeah, I'm not scrolling back up there ever again.
I'm just seeing how much money we have.
We got about 800.
Yeah, well, really, we've got about 960 with the platinum.
Oh, yeah.
How much would the raw materials for tuning forks cost? I know the forks themselves are worth 250, but labor costs probably worth 249 gold and 5 silver per fork.
So you need a tuning fork worth 250 for the process?
Yes. Well, yeah, a fork capable of being attuned, but we're calling them tuning forks.
Yes. Yeah. The attuning forks.
Yes. And of course, they're worth 250 once they're attuned, which, I mean, pretty rare magical item. Really, people should pay us to take these.
Okay. I'd say 100 gold worth of materials to craft one. There is a table in kibbles for custom items. 100 gold pieces with 8 checks of a DC 15 would make a 250 gold piece custom item, which I think would fit this pretty well. So of course you'd have to craft it and then go through the attuning ritual, which won't cost you more resources, just another tiny bit of downtime to finish the job later.
Oh, and here's a thought that has been percolating, but I didn't get to actually fully process. Would I want to make the tuning forks out of different materials for whichever target destination they're going to have?
That could certainly help. I don't think it would strictly be necessary, but if you wanted to, you could.
Okay. I suppose I'll start with making basic ones, and then later I can make sort of primed ones.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'd say
but-
if you wanted to like duplicate them in the future, or something like that, then yeah, some sort of material that was more relevant would make sense. Like without having to attune them specifically, just carrying the attunement from one to another. But
Reminder
for now,
in chat that I was going to go carousing.
yeah, I'll handle downtime after the markets. Thank you though.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I suppose if the party wouldn't object, I'd buy enough resources for 2 forks.
All right, so 200 gold pieces of just material
Pretty
for
fun.
that process.
All right.
Which will probably be I would imagine that something that has to channel that much magical power would have to be you're buying like platinum and dragon shards to craft this thing with, essentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was envisioning that it would be like rare and durable metals.
I mean, platinum's fairly durable, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think something like
Catalyst.
mithril
Heyo.
could also be good. So you could have your choice of those.
Yeah,
But definitely a dragon shard like involved in there somewhere would make sense.
Yeah, so I'll get a mixture of 2 dragon shards and some mithril and platinum that we can alloy together to
All right.
something that's upsettingly strong.
Sounds good. So you're able to locate that decently easily. Small dragon shards are pretty easy to come by in this area, and the Carnathians love having various metals around, so you're able to find that in large quantities easily. Even though you don't need actually that much quantity, you need a lot of quality here, but you know what I mean. You're able to find that easily enough. So you can go ahead and add that to your inventory and expend the funds. Milos, did you need anything?
And that was with party funds, which is why I cared if the party cared.
I'm sure they'll find
Yeah.
it useful.
I mean, the one thing that well, I mean, of course I need essences, but like that's a bit expensive.
Yeah, that can get expensive. Quick.
I can make a decent number of essences, remember.
Yeah, and then I also would probably be looking for components to craft a lockbox that's ornate and worth 400 gold pieces, but presumably the materials would be less than that.
Yeah, so I'd say you could work with 100 gold pieces worth of materials to create a 400 gold piece item. A lavish custom item in the valuable gear section is listed at 250 gold pieces of materials for a 500 gold item, so I'd pattern it off that, just drop it a little bit.
Okay. What would the DC on that be?
So that would be
Good crafting check.
7 checks of DC 15 smithing.
Okay. Yeah. And you said 100, I think, right?
200 gold pieces of
200.
materials for a
Okay.
400 gold piece item.
Well, I guess I'll purchase those then.
All right, so you purchase some nice looking stones, metals, and a couple small, roughly cut jewels that you can fit onto this thing to make it just increase the value even more and make it more worth channeling magic into. All right. Not too bad there. Anything else?
I mean,
All right.
I think that's all I need from the market, yeah.
All right. Yep. I mean, we can always revisit it if y'all need more materials for future endeavors, but we'll go ahead and
Only we had today.
I'll go ahead and hop into some downtime resolution. So Eli will be carousing with the lower class. So Eli will take 10 pieces out of the party funds. 10 gold pieces, that is. Oh, rip the 420.
Aw. Imagine Eli just, like, expensing a binge.
Yep. Exactly what's happening. So Eli is carousing with the lower class and does not need to use Disguise Kit or Deception to work with the upper class. And Eli's minimum check for a persuasion check is higher than the maximum possible result. So Eli automatically succeeds with the maximum possible result. And Eli scores 3 lower class allies, which I will create between this section and the next. We'll work with Eli on that. I believe Eli was interested in getting some criminals on his side, so we'll figure that out.
Implying Eli doesn't already have criminals on his side.
True.
Ooh. This might be a time to sell my vials of blood gin.
You could try. That is an activity you could do.
It is an activity.
I mean, we do kind of need money.
Yeah,
lower
we
class
do need money.
context can include criminals, laborers, mercenaries, the town guard, or any other folk who frequently...
But you can just enlist the town guard?
Well, not enlist, but...
Well, yeah,
get
but...
favors from them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or any other folk who normally frequent the cheapest taverns in town. So that is what Eli accomplished. I will make a note of that in Discord. Eli scored 3 allies. Alright. Who's up next? I already know Dross is working on his hammer. Which is easy because he's just taking 10 on all the checks, taking twice as long.
That shouldn't take the full week, should it?
5 days and change. So almost 6 days.
Oof. Well, I
Needs
guess
11 more checks of 4 hours each. He can only work 8 hours a day, I believe. Let me double check, because I think I gave him... I guess we never worked on that. Yep, so he will finish his hammer, which is neat, and I'll have to remind myself to actually create a stat sheet for that. We have a prototype one, but not like the real one to put on a character sheet. And he will have half a day left, which he said he would spend... He DM'd me earlier, but then DM'd me a bunch of stuff. He said he will spend the last day resting and attuning to the item. Okay, fair enough. Excellent. So I would also say Trost would probably be available for helping resolve other downtime activities on the day if anyone needed, but all set. Leroy and Milos. You working on some stuff this week?
see.
I'm going to do research about locations we could potentially get a mirror from.
With the intent to buy or the intent to steal?
Oh, definitely the second kind of intent.
Okay.
Hold on,
This was
hold on.
always
I'll go
my
take out
intention.
my gloves of thievery.
So you're initiating crime.
Well, but then I figured we could do different crime that would be like maybe a lot more profitable.
A different crime that's a lot more profitable. Okay.
Vial of, we could realistically buy a mirror with the profits from bloodshed.
Possibly, if you can find somebody willing to buy it off you for that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can use the. So if you want to sell it, that is a separate task that will take you a week.
Yeah, a full week. Because I also want to do crafting.
Right.
Let's see.
What do
You can do
those?
4 checks a day, and with some wiggle room on failing checks. Let's see, it's 460. Wait, can you also do a check while you're like during a long rest?
Not if you work that day.
Non-strenuous.
Okay.
things during
Yeah.
the long-
So you are able to work your 2 hours of long rest using the crafting rules if your day wasn't particularly strenuous.
Makes
already.
sense.
Um,
What did you say about crafting Leroy's forks?
Actually, I might have had that wrong. But Leroy's forks are similar to yours, though the next step down. They are 8 checks of DC 15. But much cheaper materials than what you used. Or
Wait, how many
Are you
checks is my one?
7. So Leroy's is 1 more check, but half as much cost.
Okay. So theoretically, if I only fail a couple checks, I could get my 2 projects done in 4 days, and that gives me a little bit of extra time to work on the forks, if you'd like, Leroy.
Yeah. Well, that could work. Yeah, because we only have 2 of them.
So if Milos takes over your crafting, then you could spend all your
Like-
time selling.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't I do that? So, I'll give you this, and I'll sort of explain how to make this stuff.
Over the course of the conversation, I'm just gonna minor illusion how I'm picturing these forks, just and the various steps between the 2 of us, so that Leroy can point out specifically where I'm making mistakes in my head and point me on the right path of getting the forks correct towards his vision of them.
Perfect, yeah. Yeah, so if you just make that a little bit more curved and really round out the head. Wait, no,
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'll explain how to make it and the alloying do and the enchantment to make them more magically sensitive.
All right.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
All right, thanks. And now I'll go hawk this bludgeon.
All right. So this is an interesting one.
Yeah. Every major city we've been in, I've tried to find someone sketchy and rich enough to buy this crap.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, in order to sell a magic item, you spend 1 work week and 25 gold pieces, which normally is used to advertise, but in this case, I'll say this is like, various people you need to pay off here and there, jog their memory with a bag of coin, that kind of thing. So go ahead and expend that, and we'll say your work week is completed. And your 1 item you're choosing to sell is all of the bludgeon. I'll consider that 1 item. That's fair. Or I assume all of the bludgeon.
Yeah.
All right. How much bludgeon do you have?
6 full vials.
6 full vials.
Yeah, don't we have like half a case back in the wagon.
Back in the party bus, which we
Which you
didn't.
love.
Why didn't we loot the party bus for materials? Dang it!
You know, honestly, that might partially be on me.
Hmm. I had notes on so here's the problem is when I wrote my notes on Bludgeon, it was like a year ago at this point. Inventory's been done.
Yet.
So give me a minute. Please
Don't worry, just
hold.
give me infinite money. It's easier that way.
Textbook. There it is.
Weird. I think the wiki page that used to have the information on this that I was using has disappeared from the internet.
Bludgeon is worth 10,000 platinum per vial, and any criminal can afford it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a weird property, I know, but it's true.
I mean, why else would they be selling it underneath the sewer?
Exactly.
Well, we're just gonna make it up as we go here, because those notes just no longer exist. Sick. All right.
Nope.
So, Leroy,
Yes.
please make me a charisma persuasion check to determine what kind of offer you get.
Can I have advantage on it for no reason?
No, not for no reason, but if you can give me a reason.
You know what? My brain's not working very well.
Wait. Hold on.
This is a week-long process, keep in mind, for whatever.
Do I know?
Coconut.
Well, do I know what Leroy's doing?
I assumed he handed off the crafting to you because you would probably know that you wanted to go sell that.
I could wait. Where'd that spell go? Oh, there it is. I could give Leroy, just every day a spell storing item of enhanceability for use on charisma checks, and that would be 10 hours a day of charisma boost or advantage on charisma.
That's enough, I'll say. Sure. So if Leroy uses up 4 of the uses a day, essentially, getting in all 8 hours of charisma boost, that'll work.
Wait, wouldn't that take 8 uses?
But didn't you say 10 uses? Oh, I thought it was 5 charges of 2 hours a day. So got you. I don't know. It's 10
Nope,
charges.
10 charges of 1 hour a day.
Gotcha. Nice.
Well, I will spend my week juiced to the gills on being persuasive.
All right. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh, 24, all right. 24.
So, you know that bludgeon is most commonly traded and often even produced in Breland. So you start asking around from anyone that might be in the area from there, things like that, rather than asking for anyone who might be looking for bludgeon specifically. And fortunately enough, you do find someone who is currently attending the Academy of Reckonmark, which I'll remind you is mostly full of young nobles or rich folks' children who are trying to become great generals and officers in the military someday of their
Got that
respective
student
countries.
loan money.
They've got that student loan money. They're all rich. They don't need. They need. Excuse me. They didn't need the student loans. They're all just come from rich families generally. So you find a young man named Halix Irwinarn, who is, you learn, or you hear of, is the youngest son of the king of Breland, currently attending the academy. You manage to track this young man down as he is visiting one of the local bars, and you whisper into his mind that you know where to get some bludgeon if he's looking for it. And thanks to this, you are able to arrange a meetup with him in a nearby alley where you're sure you're rather concealed. And you make the deal. He is very rich. He has been away from home for a long time, and he has been looking for that taste of home, so to speak, that he has been missing for many years now. And thanks to your magically enhanced charisma at the moment, he's willing to pay you through the nose to get it. So, you had 6 vials?
6 vials of it, yeah.
He's willing to pay you 180 platinum for the lot.
Boy. Alright. I will take the deal. Hand over the 6 vials.
All right. A successful week. You have managed to sell something that that you've been wanting to sell for a while, and got a pretty good deal out of it. You feel?
Yeah. And for the whole way back, I will be invisible.
Okay, fair enough. Just in case.
Yeah. You know, we're not getting brutalized reasons.
Very specific reasons. All right. That is Leroy's week handled. Milos, you are up.
All right, I'm ready to roll a bunch of dice.
I am ready to read the results of your dice.
Okay. Let's start with the assembly apparatus project.
Okay.
I don't remember the DC. Hold on, where's our DM? Let's see. Okay, DC 16 Arcana, and I have +9 on Arcana, I think. No, +10 now. Yes. And does this check involve artisan's tools?
No, just Arcana.
All right. Let's see. Let's copy roll d20 +10 and start.
That'll be 1 failure to start with.
Beautiful.
That's a pass, right? Was it DC 15 or 16?
It's DC 16.
Oh, barely passed. Barely.
Yep.
It's 1 success, which wipes away your failure.
Pop.
It's a success.
So that's day 1.
Yep.
Day 2. Pop. 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 Oh, that's a failure.
1 failure. Failure wiped away.
Day 3. And project complete.
Okay.
And the next thing I'll work on is that lockbox. Can't remember what you said the DC was again.
Let me pull the PDF back up. That is a DC 15, 7 checks.
DC 50. Oh, I just automatically pass it then.
Oh, with expertise. Yep, that makes sense.
Because my minimum roll is, or my modifier is
Plus 14, right?
plus 14,
Yeah.
and then I have a D4 on top of that.
Yeah.
So that'll take me to the end of. We're on day 2, 2 hours in. So that'll be the. No.
1, 2,
This is
3, 4,
day 3,
5,
2 hours
6,
in, right?
7, 8. Day 3, 2 hours in. You got 6 hours left on day 3.
Okay.
6 hours
So you
left on
said
day 3.
7 checks. So by the end of day 4, I'll have the lockbox done.
Correct.
All right. I will do that.
What's that a component for, out of curiosity?
Summon Construct.
Ooh. Fancy.
Since I intend for that to be my main concentration spell.
That's a good one.
You know, I have 1 Neko when you could have 2 Neko.
Did I make a stat block for that yet?
I believe you
Metal
did.
Construct Spirit, I did. There we go.
I was gonna ask if I could change the thing, the icon, if I sent you one.
Yes, you may.
Beautiful. And I only plan on using metal because that's the only thing that fits, really. So that's fine.
Makes sense. 3 days left.
3 days left. Okay. I have Leroy's forks, right?
Yep. 8 checks
Those
each.
were DC 16?
DC 15, 8 checks each.
Oh. 8 checks each.
Mhm.
Okay, so by the end of day 6, I'll have 1 finished.
That's right. Maybe Dross could help you on the last one because he's got a free day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So if that finishes up all the downtime and all the forks, then everything's done.
Yes, the forks would be blacksmithing as well, and that's an auto pass for you.
Yep.
I believe that's an auto pass for Drost.
Yeah, his automatic is the same as mine.
One higher,
Right.
I think, because of strength.
Oh
no,
but
because
I
you
have
use
plus
the D4,
1
yeah.
minimum.
Yeah, that's right. True. So the automatic success ratio is lower. Or the threshold is the same. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. So yeah, he will finish up the fork with the remaining downtime that he has as well.
Beautiful.
So Leroy, you may add those forks to your inventory.
Yay.
And
I've all the downtime.
I think that is, yeah. I will say, Leroy, the forks already seem like they are like you're the one who like sort of developed your idea for these forks and figured out how to get this all to work, and you designed the ritual to make it all work, all that. You notice that these forks already look ready to be attuned,
All right.
meaning you are currently in a manifest zone.
Oh, they respond to a manifest zone in that
They
way.
respond to a manifest zone currently, yes.
Oh.
They haven't been attuned, but you feel like they are already ready to attune to something.
And I've developed the ritual already, right? Or was that part of my downtime?
You developed it already, yeah. As your last, there was a previous downtime you spent to research that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll try and attune one of them to whatever plane is close to here.
All right. Now let me just double check the name here so I don't get it wrong. I have in my mind which one this is, but I want to ensure that I call it the correct Eberron name, not the. There we go. Okay, I was correct. Good. So you go through that ritual as part of the final day here. You've completed selling your wares and got a few hours left in the day, so it's not too bad. So you start attuning one of these forks, and as you do so, sort of the mithril in the alloy starts to stand out, and the whole thing starts to shift in hue towards like a cobalt blue, in like kind of streaks down it, and it gets very cold in your hand. And as part of the ritual, you understand that this fork has now been attuned to Rissia, a plane of ice.
Oh, that's not good.
That's why it's so cold. Spell Rissia?
Risia.
Okay.
It's like the warm plane, but opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which means we're gonna get cold instead. Oh, it's cursed. We just dealt with temperature.
We're about to deal with temperature again. We're in Siberia.
There's no rest.
Well, we're in Moscow.
Rest for the morally gray.
Alright. Hey.
So you now have a valid target for plane shift.
Yeah.
And a
Nice.
fork
Most
ready
neat.
to attune for the feature.
Yeah.
All right. So, because we are missing half the group, unfortunately, that's where I'll have to cut it for this week. So I don't want to get into plot stuff without, too much of the group missing. But we got a bunch of stuff done, and y'all are now more prepared for what's ahead than you were before. Some of you have new weapons, some of you have new...
I might actually be less prepared.
Wait,
I
what?
lost the ability to have a +2 weapon. Well, I mean,
because you're not
I didn't,
infusing
but
it anymore. Yeah,
I can't infuse it.
You can't infuse that anymore, right? True.
Right.
You can infuse a backup
like-
weapon, I guess. But like,
I could, but that would be so much less cool.
it would. It's true. It's true.
Basically, the plan as of soon TM is to just sell them next time we go into a shop or whatever weapons I have.
Makes sense. But regardless, Eli also has made some contacts around town from which you can get information or other favors in order to accomplish your next goals. And so, yeah, we've made some progress here despite there not being any actual plot movement here. So that's where we'll call it for this week, and we'll pick it up from there next week. I'll get stat sheets out and stuff in time. Yes.
One last thing. Over the course of the week during long rests, can I just be swapping around the spells and infusions I have prepared?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
You'd have like a whole week of long rests, yeah.
Yep.
That works for me. Cool. I don't think anyone else has anything they can swap on a long rest, so that is that.